Hello everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to Hot Seat with Benzola. If you're not tuning in for the first time, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. But if you are tuning in for the first time, thank you for choosing Hot Seat with Benzola. Today I am chatting to Ulebu, aka Sugar Smacks. We're actually talking about the entertainment industry. You know, he was an actor, he went into music, and I'm not sure what he's busy with now, but I'm sure he's gonna give us an update. Lebo, thank you so much for joining me on the Hot Seats. Welcome.
No.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hot velvet seat. It's hot.
Yeah, but let's start by. I mean, a lot of people know you as you're a kid star, right?
Yeah.
I remember you were in a show called Dynamite Deep Cliff Dudes. Right?
Yeah.
How did that come about? Like, did your parents recognize the talent and they kind of pushed you in and supported you in that? You know, what happened there?
What happened really is the very first TV show I did was actually School is Nice. Alright?
Okay.
I was 8 years old, but there was a lady in our neighborhood who had a casting agency of sorts.
Okay.
She told me that there's auditions, they were in Houghton and so forth. But I went to school in I was at Rosebank Primary, so it wasn't that far from me.
Yeah.
Ukoko Mount Tata went to the audition, did it. First audition, they liked it.
Yeah.
Because this lady was always bumping into my mommy's shop and she was like, yo man, I think your kid has something. Like you should really put him into this acting. Really put him.
So she saw something, Jay.
This
other lady, yeah.
One day I said, okay, sharp. I don't know now what she Mambi say. Yeah, I got there, did the thing. They gave us 2 episodes. Like my character was cameo for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But back then it's like I would say I think like TV was TV. You know, so if you appeared on TV once, everyone like everyone knew you.
Even if you didn't say anything.
My man said only the TV because it was like there was only 3 channels, etc. Those were the vibes, you know. So getting on, and my character, like I said, there was 2 episodes, but I was taken on road shows in the press write-ups, you know, they were talking about it.
This kid,
so this character really became huge. So what happened is that I did that, and that went well, and then I got another gig. It was like Word Power on SABC as well, daytime television education show. Also audition, I got that, and then Then the guys that did School is Nice coming back for another show called Mutsamai.
Wow, so you're busy, as a kid?
A little spot now and then, you know, like every year I'd have something.
Something,
you know? And then when they did Mutsamai, Neo Matsunyani who then directed Dynamite Deep Cliff Dudes was actually presenting this Mutsamai TV show. And then like he called Upracho Mafela and he was like, yo, I'm doing a show with kids, whatever. And Upracho was, hey, give this lady a call and rope him in, you know? And then I got the call to do Dynamite Deep Cliff Dudes, and that was also
that kind of blew up because I think that was
that 2 episodes on School is Nice
was like the trick.
Like well, listen, it was enough, you know. So I mean, they played it literally like last week on SABC prime time still.
Wow.
You know, so that was for me. But Dynamite Deep Cliff Dudes had huge impact.
Of course, and I mean that's obviously that's where that now being a star was. You were that guy.
So now it became big, and then it's also been repeated countless amount of times. So fortunate, I mean, it really was fortunate, but I think after that's when I sort of like wanted to focus more, because I was also at art school. So I wanted to focus more on like the drama and stage theater kind of approach. I wasn't enjoying television as much as I was doing like theater, you know, at school, but so kind of like just focused on like, I guess my school. It wasn't like my
And I mean, I want to talk about the parents' support. So I like the fact that Ugogo took you to the auditions, right?
So the parents support.
The parents, I mean, also for you to have gone to an art school as well, that kind of shows that your parents were
Look,
tuning?
I mean, to be honest, like point back, I mean, I was speaking about it even with the guys in Squatter Camp the other day. We've just always been fortunate that our parents have just supported us. It's always been a case of like, hi ma, actually I wanna go to drama school, sure. Oh, the acting thing is like they pushed me more than anything. It was like, oh, go try.
Go try,
and then,
yeah.
like,
And
boom,
you did well, yeah.
And then also with the music, I was like, you know, I was like, I want to do something, music studio, nyana. You know, it was my parents, you know, who put in some equipment and stuff, and Slick's parents as well.
Yeah.
Also gave us their house in which we could like, you know, do our thing in, and also, you know, also contributed. And then furthermore, but the group as a whole is that you had 7 parents, you know, groups of parents, and these boys, and like at one point there was 9 of us, and we all said we want to rap, you know, and then all of them said sharp.
Yeah.
Which is like unheard of. It's like, dude, you know, I mean, with the theories of like, you know, African parents,
you know,
supporting kids in the arts, whatever. It's always met with a lot of go to school and whatever.
Be a lawyer.
To be honest, like there was only one guy earlier on.
Yeah.
You know, in our early days, whose mom said no, it must finish, but later he also came back.
Yeah.
But otherwise, outside of that, all of us were blessed with the situation whereby our parents were
supported
100% fully supported, to the extent that my names are and Boza moved from Ratanda, and Boza stayed with us in Leondale. Nemza stayed with Slick as well.
So your parents also supported the idea that, you know, this guy can come stay with you guys.
To that extent, it would be like, oh yeah, they doing this music thing, okay, cool. So like 3 years,
wow,
let's take your child on for like 3 years, and you know, it's all good in the hood.
Try
you know, while they do their music.
Yeah.
You know, so there was a big sense of community and support, and I don't think they'd spoken about it, and it's always like, parents must support their children, but they were ahead.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask to say, you know, it seems you guys are blessed with that, but you know, did they as parents discuss with it? So how do we do? You know, like, or did they just all automatically just support? Because you know, for me in our society, I know that parents are just totally against this entertainment industry because it's got a reputation. And it's also in the way that they don't see it as a career. So, and how critical do you then say, well, I guess you've already answered that, to say it's critical that parents support,
you know,
the dreams of their children.
It was just like with us, I think, like I said, it was, you know, it was like no questions asked, no one ever was said, no, listen, with us it was like, Nenza, not sharp, you know, and then everyone up Pumagit, you know. And
then you did your thing.
And then we did our thing. The nice thing is that we also succeeded.
Yeah, and that's the next point I want to get into. You know, I want to understand. You know, you mentioned earlier there was 9 of you, ended up being 7. Yeah. But who gave you the break? I mean, how did the whole Squatter Camp thing? You know, because it was massive. You know, I mean, tracks like Umo, and you know, those were. I mean,
I think like. When we were younger, my aunt was dating Sizwe Zako, right?
Oh, okay.
Sizwe Zako was producing Rebecca Malupe, Pure Magic, and whatever. So, Upra Sizwe, you know, God bless him too. I'm like, Sizwe, I mean, this man at that time, he's got hits and serious records, and like he's
serious artists, right?
Serious artists, like these people are busy doing serious things, okay?
And these boys,
and like now these guys want some time in the studio to record, and like it's like,
guys.
So we used to get some studio time, record here and there, you know, so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But that's where we learned like sort of like studio etiquette and things that were happening, getting to see some people in the industry, and like I guess in a roundabout way you start getting known within circles.
Correct.
You know, either by meeting, every time recording you're seeing people walking into, until they get familiar with these kids that are always in studio. You know, and slowly but surely, you know. so Uputsizo gave us that break into getting familiar with basically recording and so forth. And then I would say after that, there was a lot of like times where we were close to getting a deal, this, that. It felt like, you know, things are happening or will, but we kept getting like, you know, our hearts broken all the time. So
Yeah.
what we then opted for was then to say with Yazin, let's get this equipment. Hence, when the parents now came in, and like, let's get this equipment, let's do our own studio.
Yep.
And after we do our own studio, we're gonna sell our own music.
That's a mountain to climb. Yeah.
So, you know what? It's like, I think it's the case of, what do they call this thing? Ignorance. Like pure, we knew none the better of how things are supposed to be done.
Yep.
And that's the only way to get them done. Because now if we're going to follow protocol of
and wait for
you must have this
break.
And you must have all the money for the marketing. If you don't, you're gonna, you know, you must print your CD here, your distribution.
Yes.
So till I started recorder, starting my TDK down the road, we wrote with the pen. Squatter Camp album, whatever, 30 sellotape, cut that. Sellotape this thing, black and white photocopy, cut, I make some, I sell. Look like a school project.
For sure.
But they bought it.
They bought it.
Yeah. People bought that thing, that's fine. You know, and then so every time, like, and then the next one, we got better. Up until now, we're doing Cut and Join. By the time Cut and Join album hit, with the Round we were being distributed through Musica and all of those things on our own, where there's street network of hawkers and vendors. And so, you know, I mean, I must have sold 5,000 odd copies of that stuff, you know.
Well, I guess at the time that was...
At the time that was substantial. Like, look, and I mean, it was... We could have been better, but remember, like, we were still... This was our getting into the game. We were still figuring this thing out. It could have probably gone, like, if we had the system right all the way.
Then it would have shot up quite quickly.
So we came understanding with the right Ganjani. With that whole distribution thing. So what I'm saying is, coming back to where we got the break, is that because we were on this momentum independently already, so we created our own luck, so to speak.
Right, yes.
So by the time we were spotted by Gallo Record Company, we had already won a SAMA.
So you were there, you had arrived already.
Now we went, we did our independent thing, we won a SAMA. So now we're in the space.
Yeah, now you're here.
We are here.
Someone must listen out there.
That's fine, now we're here. Then Gallo then came close and said, all right, cool. Let's do it big. Let's bring our expertise. Let's do what you guys do, and then let's take it.
Sure, that was great. I mean, you guys were pretty big, I must say.
Groundbreaking.
And I must say, at first I looked at your group and I was like, 7. It's a lot. You know, and the first thing that came to mind is, okay, split on mali 7 times.
Divide by 7.
You know? But anyway, let's move on to the next question. So at some point though, after all this great work that you guys did, and you were out there, I'm sure you were performing every other day, and you sort of disappeared, you know. And I know you went solo, you did a few tracks, Bricks, and then were off the limelight a bit. Where were you? What was happening, and how was the transition?
I think, look, to be honest, from like 2000 and... Okay, so we're doing Squatter Camp, like, let's say, from 1999 active. Well, like, this is like from 1998 in high school. I mean, like, this thing was consumed most of my life and weekends and whatever, you know. And then 4 years later, we sort of like get the break. Like, that's when
you're big.
Rao Manisa is happening. We're moving now, you know, we're moving. So I can honestly say that, like, say from the year 2000, I guess, until 2012 was kind of like hectic, because we did Squatter Camp till about 2009, like, whereby we were active, you know. And even then, like, you know, we had started slowing down, because by the time we released the album in 2009, it had been 3 years since we released the one before that. But then that's when the solos also
The
came into
solos,
play.
yeah, because I
You know,
also did a solo.
Flava, Rilo.
Yes.
So I mean, and we enjoyed a fair amount of success. Not all the projects, but Flava went on and won a summer.
Yeah.
If you remember,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
His album did well.
Yes.
I did 2 albums that did well.
Yes,
Rilo
yes.
had smash hits in
Yeah.
house music.
Yes,
and
yes,
Slick
I
had a
remember
home
that
scene
album.
though.
Yeah,
You know, then we launched Questa at the time as well. So everything was like, I'd say like from 2002 to about 2012. So that's about a 10-year space whereby it was just, I think, pretty hectic music wise. And then coming out of there, because I haven't had, my last solo album was 2012.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a single here, single there, but like, you know, I don't know, like if it was, maybe I think the focus shifted in terms of diversifying and doing other different things in business, whereby I think every day it was like, we used to wake up and just focus on the music side of things, but like now we started focusing on other things as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, sometimes it's nice to do something and also try to do other things. Because like the same with the music, I was in TV, then went to music, and then this and that. So experimenting, exploring, but then after that, I mean, I did Clash of the Choirs.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Then I had a TV show on Mzansi Magic, My Perfect Proposal. Like 32 episodes of that as well. And after I did that, and while I'm doing that in the background, I'm like busy with like agency stuff, from a marketing and creative point of view. So I had great campaigns that I've done with hunters and this and that, and so setting up that part of the business as well.
And how important is the part of the business, right? So, because I think from where I'm sitting or as a viewer, I see music. Like I just see you produce, you release, and you don't get to see the side that the business side. How important is that, and how critical that is that as an artist you diversify and for multiple streams of income.
It's a tricky one because I think over time, I've learned different things. There's different. I've learned some certain skills and disciplines like with on the agency side and marketing side of business, and sometimes I feel maybe sometimes there is no need to really like diversify you as like. How can I put this? Like, you can learn all these things and then just implement them in your own brand. You understand?
So not necessarily.
So don't
diversify and invest it in the brand.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see. Don't diversify completely out.
Exactly. So type thing. You know what I'm saying? It's I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned with Norman. You know what? You can invest more in yourself. Maybe than in others, but you can learn these skills and implement
sort of
them.
Bring them together.
I think understanding your brand worth, and having and treating your brand as a business and structuring around that and being like, yo, it's gonna be this, that, and we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and this is the plan for 5 years, 3 years, whatever, But like I think with musicians and people in entertainment who always like sort of like, oh yeah, now that you've made it, what you gonna do? It's just like, okay, well, what I can do is
do what I've been doing.
In a better way. That's actually the thing. Is just that like, unfortunately, you can't always control everything. You might not be popular forever. You might not be this. You might not be that. So. It is always tricky, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes like client stuff is also good, pays the bills here and there and do this, do that. But I think in the same breath it's finding that balancing act between everything. I think it's being able to say, well, I've got this set of skills, I can use it
to generate money.
to generate income by offering my set of skills to others.
Yeah.
But in that process, let me not forget to invest those set of skills
exactly in
in
the
myself
core
of what got me here. You know.
So you speak about treating your brand as a business. That is just like so generic, and it's very nice English.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So,
as in, what are the actions that one needs to take to ensure that the brand is a business?
Sure. So it boils down to, like, number one, you need to have a plan. We all know that you have, but like now you need to have a plan for
with actions.
Yeah. You know, but like even for a brand, okay, like now we on Hot Seat, Penzola, what is the business plan for this thing? And then like when this thing, hits it big time, what is the brand plan for this thing?
Right.
And like how to align and what are we doing to get the brand out there, and what are we doing to make sure that the business is sustainable, So but all of those need to be guided by like that ultimate vision of like, all right, what's the vision for your brand or this thing that you're doing? So vision is number one, because that's gonna help you plan. Are you doing this thing for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? How long? It will help you just answer like basic questions.
Sure.
But actually, guys, we just need to do this thing for 5 years.
That's it, guys.
And then
we're done. Yeah. Okay. So,
we're gonna do it forever. Okay. So if we're looking, we've got a lifespan of X amount of time. Let's make sure we get 1, 2, 3 out of the way by this date and this date, just so that it'll help you timelines and so forth,
Okay.
And then also like understanding so what else can we do to diversify our streams of income? If you are,
that's why we do what we do, right? To get paid.
To get paid, So you can say, all right, we are a company that sells pillows, but what else can we do? We're known for pillows. But maybe if we did cushions, and maybe we did ottomans, and maybe we did this, we can diversify within that space. But then that means we could be doing well in bedding overall. Actually, that's in the number duvet. And then now you've got this thing where you started, but like now you can build around that ecosystem. So it's all about. But I think more than anything, it is the pure vision first will help you answer everything. You need to understand what you want at the end. Because like if you can say, I want to be a star as big as Madonna, okay. Then
that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. Until now you can say,
write down the steps of how do I get
there. Then maybe once you're there, then you're gonna have to come back and say, now we are here at Madonna level. Now, What's next? And how do we do this thing? Do we keep it going? Do we close it? And so on. So really, I think vision will
help answer those questions.
Will help answer everything else. But also, if you must also go, like anybody must go read and say, all right, how do I build a brand? How do I do this? People must educate themselves, and you can educate yourself for 30 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah, true. I want to know now. I hear this industry is cruel.
Yeah.
And if it is, how cruel is this industry? And I say this because that's what our society says, and that's what we see. There's many artists that have passed on, and every time an artist has passed on, they say, they passed on with nothing in their pockets. They live this, they grow up and then you live this life. And then when they no longer have money, we hear stories, that the management team, obviously the person didn't own any of the material. There's many stories, right? So we can't believe everything we read in the newspapers. But in your opinion, how cruel is this industry, and what is it that people that want to get into this industry need to learn, and how to protect themselves?
I think like there's no free lunches, so I think like if you can make it, you can succeed, but I mean like you always have to strive, like now I was wanted to let's say to progress or whatever, to learn more, understand more and so forth, because you'll get to a point where you hear, and then when things slow down, you need to be sort of like prepared for that, and which goes back to what we're saying about diversifying and finding the balance.
Finding the balance, yeah.
The problem is, if you distracted and you go too much to that side, you neglect one side.
And then when that side comes down.
And then now, but now, if you go that way, you're fine, because when that one dies, it's like, no, I've been here anyway, but I'd say, when it comes to the cruelty thing, it's just a case of like, man, is it cruel? That's like saying life is unfair. It's like saying, like the guy that's homeless on the street, life is cruel, I'm told. Or
so it's not cruel.
Anyone that's like been retrenched, life is cruel. I'm told it's like a soccer player that's retired, life is cruel. It's like, it's as cruel as you let it, be to you,
Okay.
So it's like, you have to educate yourself.
Be clear.
Be clear, and now I'm going on this one, doesn't know. I don't think things are going the way.
How do you know? What's that Jakawate?
Now we are one of the because if you're not getting money the way you're used to getting money, that can show a dip, and if you can see there's other people competing in your space and there's you need to be able to say like, all right, cool, so either I gotta go harder, or I gotta make sure I know in 6 months from now what I'm doing, or whatever I'm earning now, I need to know that might have to last me. I might need to slow down the spending a little bit right now.
Yeah.
And make sure I've got X amount. So that's why in terms of cruel, I think it's as cruel as any workplace. Like there's backstabbing in any workplace.
True.
There's politics about
any workspace. People
have to sleep with this guy to get that job, and whether it's corporate, like whether it's in any field, I'm like, these things happen in fun.
So we shouldn't single out, as a society, we actually shouldn't single out the entertainment industry as the most cruel industry. It's exactly the same.
It's the same. It's business.
It's business.
If you have a restaurant and people don't go to buy your food, you're gonna close. You know what I'm saying?
Or if you have a restaurant and then you have waitresses and waiters that steal from your business.
It's what I'm saying?
Cruel. Yeah.
But they are being cruel. So I'm just saying it's all business. Treat it as a business. Understand your opportunities, understand your threats, look at your cash flow. All of these things are just basic, like I said, look at the brand, is it succeeding? What's the plan? Always have a plan for 1, 2, 3. And these are things that I didn't always do, you know what I'm saying? Like with Squatter Camp, with Sugar Smacks and whatever, there wasn't always this long, sort of like, this is what we want to do for the brand. And I mean, like, and these were poor things that we failed to do, but it's easier to say because we're successful, So we had a plan, you know what I'm saying? We had a plan, we had good work ethic, but never had a long-term sort of like vision. It's like, I know if I do this and I carry on like this, I will succeed, I can get, but it's like, okay, but now, where was all of this, sort of like going, But now we've come back together with the chance, we're recording again. And I think all of those lessons have basically come into play. And basically saying, all right, sharp, we know what we're doing. We know why we're doing this current album. And
we're doing things differently, basically.
We're doing things differently. It's more purposeful and stuff, But I mean, at the end of the day, we've got a legacy and a beautiful story, to tell that that changed the entire landscape of the South African not even hip hop, the music industry and youth culture at large, because I think post Squatter Camp, like young African kids in whatever industry felt like, oh damn, I can really be whatever I want. I never it was like, okay, there was a change. And
it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah,
so if you look at the number of businesses, industries, like just from 2003, the emergence of what happened with young black, sort of like people getting into and owning their space. That was a new fire, a whole new energy. And I'm not saying that Kwaito didn't do. Kwaito was doing.
No, Kwaito was doing.
And it was from a generation, but I think it was like, I think Kwaito was doing it, but I think it was like it struck it put like a spark in there, like a bit of an informal one. It was more like an attitude, you know. But I think with Squatter Camp, it was like put like an industry sort of business mindset to it, you know. And then others will go, and then like you've got Abu Cas, but then like and Abu Trev, and like everything like we've seen. There's always been people doing it like bigger, and it's always like, oh damn, we can really do that. You can do that. You can do that. You know.
Yeah.
So I think I mean all those people are all good examples just to see with the ganja, but that goes to all those visions.
Sure, yes. And how's the album doing now? I mean, you guys are back together. You said earlier you're recording. How's that going?
The recording has been fun. It's early days. You know, like we're just starting to get the rollout going on this new project, and we're building momentum slowly but surely. And we just look forward for the day we release.
So, okay. So when do you guys have any idea when?
Yeah, it'll be like 2021.
Somewhere 2021.
Yeah. We're just putting the oil back in the system right now, about 2021.
And is it all 7 of you guys back? Or,
well,
6.
Outside Infa left.
And obviously Flava.
And then Flava passed, but now it's 6 of us by myself, Nish, Boza, Nemza, Slick, and Rilo.
And Rilo, yes.
So the 6 of us, we carrying it on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now lockdown, how did that affect you? Who were you spending your lockdown with?
Lockdown. For me, it was easier. I didn't mind lockdown. I was just lucky. That we had some work before lockdown. Had a couple of coins. Weather the storm. Flow was that new opportunities were hard to come by during lockdown. I think the impact of lockdown, I think we might think we're over it, but I think we're really, for me, I'm like mid next year is when we'll probably really start really feeling what happened. Because like now people still have credit cards and this and that and overdrafts and
there's
things you could really like pull and and then so we're hoping we'll be back on track.
It was bad.
And then start, while we can still manage to pay them off, whatever, then we can get enough work to do those things. So I think we're still in this thing very much, I think we're still in it hard, but for me lockdown was also like a time to focus, and just to do the things that like you've got so many tasks and items. I'm not even done with the things that I was supposed to be done with during lockdown.
But at least you got to do some, I guess.
I got to do some. You know what I'm saying? I got to do some, but I'm not. I think I did more in that first 3 weeks of lockdown.
Because we thought it was 21 days.
I thought I'm gonna. I did more in that 3 weeks than I think I did in the remainder. I'm not sure. It just feels that way. But for me, it's been a good time to just like buckle down, do what you have to do, tick the things off on your list, start those projects that you said you were going to start. And then like now as we get back into things, I guess also get back into the hustle mode, and then once again see if we can find new opportunities and so forth. But I think it boils down to that whole thing we're talking about diversifying. Like when client work isn't like a lot, what other work can you create for yourself? In your space with your brand and what brands that you can create and things and whatever. So it's always like be able to have that mindset whereby one is like, what can I create and offer myself, and then from it as a product, that I can put out there. And the one is like, okay, how can I service, the needs of others, so that I can play this balancing scale. Sure,
man. Last question. Who else is label outside of what we've spoken about? The industry, the music, the actor.
That was just like a normal guy, trying to. Like not disappoint himself.
Like any other person.
I said, okay, I think I have a certain aspirations, certain quality of life, certain things that I want to do, certain this, certain that. But it's not everything just like purely just based on material things. We're just saying like being able to set goals and achieve them.
Yeah.
For me, that is success.
Right.
Regardless on whatever scale. If my goal was to run a marathon and I do it,
and you finish,
I've succeeded.
Does it matter if you came first, the second, or third?
You see, so those things, it's like, what was your goal? Did you do it? You can tick that off as success. You don't have to live by success based on what other people measure their success by. So for me, that's all you need to do. Put your goals down. When you achieve them, or your task, when you achieve it, that is success.
Yeah.
So I'm just a guy that's trying to tick off those boxes, really, trying to do good by my family. You know what I'm saying? Trying to change the world where we can, trying to educate, trying to give opportunities to others, so basically, like, really, I think that's it. The simple guy who wants to do good in the world and leave impact that will be long lasting, and give opportunity to many, I think, disadvantaged people just to have an equal footing, so that they too can compete. Sure. And I think that comes from the support of the parents thing. That, like, I know as a result of myself that if you are given the opportunity to do what you want, you can make it. So in the long run, after maybe all of these other different business ventures and whatever, that's when like things like venture capitalism and philanthropy will come into place, because we want people to go out there and also carry on changing the world. And while we don't have all the answers, but every day we try.
Sure. Did you ever think at some point to maybe quit this entertainment world and go into corporate? Or have you ever actually been in corporate?
Well, I think I am in corporate from the agency side of life. So for me, it's like,